Hi guys, this is Jeff from Railway City Hobbies. Today we're at Davin Heinbuch's Slayton subdivision in early 1990s. And today we're doing a review on the Athearn Genesis SDF40-2. A little back history on these. These were former Amtrak units. And in the 80s, Amtrak sold them to Santa Fe. Mainly because they had derailment issues because the HEP generator in the rear was too much weight over the trucks and were causing derailment issues. A unique spotting feature with this is the actual notch out on the actual front hood. This was the Amtrak's, that is not there. These locomotives come with you got your anti-climber on the front, your MU hoses across here, and your train line right here, and MU hoses on the other side. Your coupler cut lever is there. Separately applied handrails and plastic stanchions. Your grab irons down the front of the hood here. Sand filler hatch. Your grab slash where your ladder would lean up against. Grabs on the top, separately applied windshield wiper detail, AC unit, and your Sinclair antenna, and I believe that would be your EOT antenna on there for your end of train. Lots of piping on the top of this locomotive. You got your separately applied grab irons for the getting up into the actual cowl or the car body. From the side, you can see your air intakes here, your air intake grills here. You got your dynamic fans here, which are wire grills. You got your 3-chime S3L Nathan horn. Your separately applied metal etched grill work here over your rads. Also got see-through grills in the rear. More separately applied wire detail on the, not exactly sure, this may have been factory, but there's no door there. Your sight glass, your filler neck. You got your speed recorder on this here. You got sanding lines in the front. You got your shock absorber, very nice truck detail. You got your brake cylinders on either end. Same as on the rear. You get brake cylinders, all your piping for the truck. And on the rear, again, you have your MU hoses on the rear. You got your train line there. McHenry coupler with your metal trip pin. On the other side, again, your MU hoses. Separately applied grabs on the rear, not on. You got your anti-climber here. You got separately applied grabs and grabs all the way up the side of the other side of the car body. Sand filler hatch on top, and your grab on top. Your glass door, sight glass, not sight glass, but yeah, and your rear pilot light. Again, on top you can see the air conditioning unit. You can see the Sinclair antenna in its platform, and your EOT antenna, again platform. You can see your see-through grills, and for your dynamic, and your see-through grills and fan detail for your radiator. This space here is blank. That's where your HEP generator would have been. But again, Santa Fe removed them when they were traded for switchers that were sent back to Amtrak, and so they removed these to alleviate the issue of its derailment issue. On the front, you can see the grabs and the sand filler hatches on the front. You get separately applied lift rings here, here, and here, as well as there, 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 there. Lift rings to open this hatch up here. 4 lift rings on the back here. Lift rings around the radiator section. Alright, so now that we have the prime mover started up, it is very loud. They use 2 speakers, 28mm speakers, but it's very, very loud. So F1 is the bell. F2 is the longhorn. F3 is your short horn. So we'll turn on the front headlight. To turn your number boards on, you hit F6. Not exactly very bright. There is a half volume mute, which is F9. So we'll put it back to normal volume. And now we're going to use the straight to 8 in the sander valve, which is F10, to notch it straight to 8. Now we're at notch 8. We're going to put it back to idle. F7 is your dimmer, plus you get cab chatter. And it's really hard to hear over the prime mover. The prime mover volume's too loud. So with that, we'll take it around the layout, and then we'll do some run-bys, and then we'll continue the rest at the back at the shop counter, where we can weigh this in and do some drawbar tests. So we'll be right back. Hi guys, we're back on the layout and we're doing our pull test now. We have the pull test set up, so without further ado, first test we got a 115. Second pull. $110, and the last pull. I got a 120. Now we're going to do our push test. They're all set up. First test is showing a 135. $130. And the last test. Wrong way. Getting 115 to, oh, we're holding at 115. So that's quite a good push-pull. Finding it's actually pushing better than it is pulling, but that's the results at the current moment. Keep in mind that this is the locomotive that has lock sound installed. I was finding a little bit of variation when we were actually running at the Slayton subdivision. There's a helix there with about 2.5%, and we tested the two locomotives. We were just running them just to see how they ran and how much they pulled up the hill, and we were finding that the Tsunami, the soundtracks edition, it would actually slow down and almost creep up the hill, like the back EMF wasn't giving the motor more power to adjust for the amount of draw that was going up the hill. Whereas when we ran the lock sound through, because of the back EMF control that lock sound has, it didn't actually slow down. It kept a constant speed from where it went to the flat, all the way up the hill, back up onto the level at the top. When the soundtracks got to the top, in the other video you can see, as soon as it gets to the top and all the weight or the actual drag from the hill gets reduced by level ground, it just takes off. So the results may vary if you do your own test, depending if it's a Tsunami one versus a lock sound. But these results are for with a lock sound equipped Athearn Genesis. So we're back at the store to do a little bit more review on the sound. Unfortunately, Davin's system he uses is the MRC Prodigy, and to actually do the notching, manual notching, so you can hear the individual prime movers. it's up, and like you have to use F26 and 27, which is not very convenient on a MRC Prodigy throttle. So we're gonna do this all from the store. So we're at notch 1. Notch 2. Notch 3. Notch 4. Notch 5. Notch 6. Notch 7. And now we're at notch 8. So we'll start notching down now. And now we're going to listen to the shutdown sequence. So now that we've heard the actual prime movers, all the notches of the prime movers. This concludes the review of the SDF40-2. I'm impressed with the LED lighting that Athearn's put in, including the truck lights, which is not a lot of manufacturers do that. An extra point that we didn't shoot, but I can include the information. This locomotive weighs 26.6 ounces out of the box. As well, or in grams, that's 750 grams, which is actually the same weight, actually just a tad heavier than the scale trains tier 4, which is impressive. The pulling ability equals what the scale trains did. We're getting tests of 115. In some cases, it would test. It would give a little bit higher. I like the fact that Athearn has come to ESU to develop a 21-pin DC board for those people that prefer the lock sound over the tsunami sound. Everyone has their preferential taste. I find the putting in the lock sound decoder, you get the number boards, and the foot lighting is better. It's brighter and more noticeable, and the sound is a little bit different than what you see in this locomotive. I always, with these tsunamis, I'd recommend turning them down. They are very, very loud. They'll drown out anything around them. But that's also not a good thing, because you should have almost like the 20-foot rule or the 15-foot rule, where if you hear your locomotive over 15 feet away, it may be too loud, because then you won't be able to, and no one else, like I've had to put it on mute or like the half volume, so I actually don't feel like I'm trying to yell over top of it. But Athearn's put some new engineering into this locomotive. It runs great, it pulls great, looks great, lots of separately applied metal etch detail, and look forward to new projects coming out from Athearn and hope they continue on this path. I know a lot of people, it was a common complaint about the incandescence, so they finally admittedly listened and are changing over now. And as such, the second run, or the upcoming run of SD40 M2s and 70 Aces will all get the retooling to put in the full LED all around. And they also have the 21 pin board if you want to install a lock sound decoder and if you don't like the tsunami sound. So with that, we're gonna end this video.